Hey everybody, Pastor Lou Life here, renewing the mind and the body for a healthy living. And I know the notifications are going out, and so I want to send out a birthday shout out to everybody that is celebrating their birthdays today. My little brother Byron Hyde, and I know that there are a few others celebrating today. And I want to wish you a very happy birthday, and I pray that your day is filled with many blessings, gifts, and love from all around, and that you enjoy as many of the sweet things as you desire. Just don't make yourself sick. And if this is your first time watching one of these broadcasts, I want you to know that they are to encourage you, to empower you, to educate you, to motivate you, to inspire you, and to uplift you to move towards your destiny, operating in the purpose for which you've been created, using the gifts that you have within you. And so I am not going to be on here very long. I'm going to say what I need to say, and then I'm going to move on. This week has been a week of leadership impartation for me and leadership downloads, if you will, in my personal private time, quiet time that I've been spending with the Lord. I've been receiving these downloads, and one of the things that I wanted to share with you all today is something that, of course, I've posted earlier, and I want to give a little bit more deeper insight into what I shared and what I posted. And that post was simply this: that leaders, it is not your responsibility to disprove or to discredit any other leader, because you will see and hear and find that there are many leaders who are trying to disprove and discredit many other preachers and pastors and evangelists and prophets and elders and teachers and other leaders, period, trying to discredit them and disprove them, and trying to show forth that they are not right and that they're incorrect. And unless that is what your specific calling is, unless that is your assignment, then you do not need to spend your time, your energies, or your resources trying to disprove or discredit any other leader. I'm going to say that again, because what ends up happening is, if you are, watch this, if you are a leader, that means that somebody is following you. And if you are taking the time to disprove or to discredit any other leader, you are halting and slowing the progress and the forward movement of those that are following after you. And also, what you teach to those that are following you is to look for people to continuously discredit and disprove. And you never make it to destiny because you're too busy looking for people who you may consider are incorrect, or who are in error. So this is why it's very important for you not to spend your time or your energies or resources trying to disprove or discredit any other leader. Whether that leader is right or wrong, unless you have been called specifically to disprove and to discredit that leader, you should not spend your time, energies, or resources doing so. But what you should be doing is you should be leading with truth and divine insight. I'm going to say that again, that you should be leading with truth and divine insight. Why lead with truth and divine insight? Is because the truth stands for itself. And the word says that it's the truth. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Now, when you know truth and you lead with truth and you operate in truth, you lead and you operate in a place of freedom. And you will not, and here's the other point, that you listen, when you don't have anything to prove, you don't have to argue. I'm going to say that again. When you are operating in truth, you are operating in a free place. And when you are in a free place, you don't have anything to prove. And if you don't have anything to prove, then you don't argue and you don't get into a debate. It's only those that have something to prove, hear me what I'm saying, only those that have something to prove are the ones who argue and the ones who debate. If you don't have anything to prove, you don't debate. You look at those that go into the courtroom system. You have the plaintiff and you have the defendant or the defense. The plaintiff has a point to prove. They are trying to prove that the accused actually committed whatever crime that they stand accused of, whereas the defense also is trying to prove. So they argue that their defendant is actually either innocent or not guilty of whatever crimes that they've been accused of. And so the plaintiff and the defense both have something to prove. So therefore, they both argue back and forth. And I'm going to say that again. Unless you have something to prove, then you have no need to argue or get into a debate with anyone about anything. And you can only watch what I'm saying. This will save you much heartache, headache, and grief. And this will save you unnecessary time spent in energies and resources if you learn how to lead with truth and divine insight. When you lead with truth, you lead from a free place. The truth stands for itself and it doesn't need for you to argue it. The truth doesn't need for you to prove it. You don't need to prove the truth out because the truth just is. And here's the other thing. People will either accept it or they will reject it. Point blank. People will accept it or reject it. And when you watch this, when you lead in truth, you continuously lead in a free place and from a free place. And so you teach those that are whoever is following you, hear me what I'm saying, whoever is following you, you teach those how to learn, how to find, watch what I'm saying, truth. You teach them to find truth. And when you teach them to find truth, you're teaching them to find freedom. Hear me what I'm saying. And as they learn to find freedom, that keeps them moving forward towards destiny. And so when you move forward towards destiny and you lead from a place of truth, then you don't have time to disprove or discredit any other leader. And so that goes all the way back to what I said at the very beginning. As a leader, do not spend your time trying to disprove or discredit any other leader unless that is what you have specifically been called to do. And if so, there is a specific person or a specific region that you will be called to in order to discredit or to disprove whatever erroneous truths or false doctrines or false lies that are being lifted in that specific place. But the majority of us, I'm going to say this, and I make a very bold stance when I say this, but the majority of us have not been called to that place. We have not been assigned to that place. Okay, so we've just been given the ability to lead in the area, in the arena where we are, certain graces to lead where we are. And so this is a word of encouragement for you. Don't spend your time trying to disprove or discredit any other leader, and don't spend your time trying to argue and debate a point. If you operate in truth, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. And know this, that people can either accept it or they can reject it. I want you to live free. I want to see you win. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing, to encourage those of us who are leaders, because you feel like you're being attacked by people from all around you, being attacked by family and friends, and you're doing what you know that you should be doing. You're doing what God has gifted you to do, graced you to do, anointed you to do, and it seems like people are attacking you. They're trying to argue with you, nitpick and debate with you on certain things. And the fact of the matter is, listen, no, if you are in truth and divine insight, if you are in truth and divine insight, stay there. Don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about the nitpickers, but stay in divine truth, because that truth is going to, again, keep you in a free place. And as long as you're free, you have movement, and that movement is forward and upward. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Lady Vero. I see you. She says, say that truth. Yes, sir. Absolutely love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is my prayer that you have been encouraged, that you've been empowered, educated, motivated, inspired, and uplifted to move towards your destiny. Share this with your family and friends. Share this with your pastor. Share this with your ministers of music. Share this with your evangelists and your prophets, your apostles and pastors and teachers and bishops and elders and ministers and deacons, so that they can know, again, how to operate and not be deceived. Because let me tell you something, it's very easy to be deceived and be snatched in or pulled in to an argument and a debate and cause you to try to prove a point that you don't need to prove because you're in truth. All right. I love you guys. I'm getting off of here. Stay tuned, because there's a possibility that we may be calling for a leadership summit 2018, because there are many more nuggets like this that God is downloading into my spirit. And I want to be able to share them and speak them to you so that you can be encouraged and that you can continue to lead with the grace that God has given to you. All right. I pray that you're having a wonderful week. And I am hopefully encouraging you, empowering you, educating you, motivating you, inspiring you to move towards your destiny, operating in the purpose for which you've been created, using the gifts that you have within you. Good to see you, Lady Bro. It's always a blessing to see you. You're such a jewel in the body of Christ. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Stay tuned. More great stuff coming along. All right. Signing off by saying, hello, 2018. I'm going up. We'll see you again real soon. Mad love.